Sony's always working behind the scenes to try to bring things out, to try to make things better for the PlayStation 5, for for everything, and I really enjoy that. As a fan, to see them continue to evolve the platform and to continue to make things better, I think that's awesome. I also, I know people give me a lot of crap for not really being a fan of like the services and stuff like that. But I got to be honest with you. For me personally, I don't really care about like PlayStation Now or Game Pass. It's just one of those things where people that know me, and I know my situation is different than everybody else's, and I can definitely see a situation where people who have PlayStation might love PlayStation Now. People who have Xbox might absolutely love Xbox. But this bit of news right now is really a thing that shows how competitive, PlayStation is, and how they actually go out there and listen to what fans are asking for. So yeah, I definitely love this. And listen, there's a list of things that Sony has been paying attention to, updating and making better lately, as opposed to what Microsoft has done. They've listened a lot lately. The CMOS battery issue is fixed. The Horizon upgrade path fixed. They didn't shut down the stores for the PlayStation 3 and the Vita, and they're not going away from single-player games. They seem to be really listening to what everybody's asking for, and I think that's an incredible thing. With that being said, this goes one bit further, and I love seeing the fact that they're able to kind of accomplish these things sort of by listening, but also by going out there and saying, hey, this is a good thing. This is really something that fans have been wanting. So yeah, I want to get into it. What's up, everybody? Crapgamer here with Crapgamer Reviews. Rack them up and all that kind of good stuff. If you guys do enjoy the content, maybe consider liking it. That's pretty much all I ask. I definitely mean that. I appreciate all the well wishes and things too. So thank you guys for rocking out with me. Now listen, keep this in mind when it comes to any kind of patent or any kind of stuff like that. Take it with a grain of salt, because it doesn't always mean that there's going to be something that comes from it. That's just how these things go, unfortunately. But it's still a good idea to kind of maybe get into it and talk about it, because I feel like this one in particular is something that Sony will definitely continue to update and probably bring to fruition. Sony working to include PlayStation 5 games on PlayStation Now, according to new patents. Sony Interactive Entertainment has filed a new patent that indicates the format holder is looking to bring PlayStation 5 games to PlayStation Now. The cloud-based streaming service that also allows users to stream and download content. The PlayStation 5 launched back in November of 2020 in a number of major global markets, including the United States and Europe, but PlayStation Now did not receive support for the PlayStation 5 games. Due to the shortage of components and manufacturing the new console, this obviously isn't such a big surprise. However, a new patent, which is an ultra-high-speed, low-latency network storage, hints that work is going to be ongoing to allow PlayStation 5 games to be streamed via PlayStation Now. The filing specifically mentions utilizing multiple NVMe drives, which just so happens to be the type of storage drive used in the PlayStation 5, networked together to stream games. Sony hasn't announced anything about bringing PlayStation 5 games to PlayStation Now just yet, but it seems like a solid strategy going forward. While the patent itself was published only recently, Sony filed it back in April, which suggests this has been in the works for a while. Now listen, I think this is a incredibly smart move. Now, the interesting thing is, with a lot of this stuff, a lot of people are going to be talking about it. I think that it also means they'll probably have downloads and stuff. If you look at Xbox Game Pass, one of the things that is, I guess, that stands out is the fact that they would offer, a handful of next-gen titles, whereas on PlayStation Now, it's all like PS4 stuff and below. So being able to stream and also download some PS5 titles, I think, would be really cool. PlayStation Now was created and obviously positioned as a streaming service first, but Sony refuses to add games to the service that are not available for streaming, only making exceptions for likes of Red Dead Redemption 2, which was a rare download-only PlayStation Now title. It wasn't all the way that Sony handles digital games and licenses that resulted in downloadable versions from the service as well, not being able to get PS5 upgrades, something that perhaps would not have been an issue if PS5 games were part of the service already. One of the main reasons why they haven't brought PS5 games to the service would likely be the component shortages, as Sony is having a tough time providing these things, which we already know about, and these might continue into 2022, 2023, who knows. The next reason would be future-proofing, or rather lack thereof. At the launch of the service, due to the exotic architecture of the PlayStation 3, Sony had no choice but to have entirely dedicated hardware setup for PS3 and then a separate setup for PS4 when they eventually showed up on the service. Starting with the PS4, Sony was committing to more common architecture that would be easier to account for and emulate in the future, which we have now seen it bear fruit with backwards compatibility on PS5. At the time, though, Sony would not participate and anticipate any of this stuff. The PlayStation 5 would be shipping with an insanely fast solid-state drive, and hence do not have the servers prepared for PlayStation 5 games with PS Now. The new patent actually addresses this aspect of PlayStation 5 game streaming and may even be future-proofed enough for PS6 games in the future. Now, the patent itself reveals the ongoing work to enable streaming as well, such something that you have to kind of pay attention to. Apparently, through this, the system will also be able to keep track of specific data blocks on each of the drives, which is essential for some PlayStation 5 exclusive games to function. Knowing where these blocks are and accessing them directly are a big part of why native PS5 games can load things in faster than the PlayStation 4 itself. Now, seeing all these aspects and covering their specific requirements for PlayStation 5 games indicates Sony is actively working on bringing PlayStation 5 games to PlayStation Now, but it also shows that it's thinking smarter for the future past the PlayStation 5, which is basically future-proofing. Now, this patent may have been published earlier this month, and as I stated earlier, it was actually filed back in April, around the time the PlayStation 5 received its first major update, so we know they've been working on this for some time. Even though we haven't seen any PlayStation 5 games on PlayStation Now just yet, Sony could already be implementing PlayStation 5 server blades on PlayStation Now with no announcement, much like Microsoft did for their cloud servers with Xbox Series X blades earlier in June. There's a possibility that some PlayStation Now sessions are actually being played on PS5 server blades completely. If the implementation is being done anywhere close to Microsoft's current pace, then an announcement could possibly happen at the end of this year or sometime in April of next year. And of course, I'm going to link this so you guys can check that out and let me know what you think as soon as you hear from it. So again, this is going to be something that probably gets announced, I would guess maybe next year. And, they're probably going to go a little bit more all out with maybe rebranding PlayStation Now. A lot of people still think it's only streaming. Obviously, the newer stuff, anything on PS4 you can download. I do think that it should be that way with PS5 stuff as well. It just makes a lot of sense. People don't like streaming stuff, no matter how much I say this. People do not understand how, bad the experience is. It's just not optimal. It never will be. So yeah, I think that that's a very smart move. With that being said, I'm going to link this in the description. You guys can check it out. Let me know what you think. Rack 'em up, fact 'em up, Crapgamer 'em up. Thanks for watching. Crapgamer out.